All right, draft fans, we are back with another prospect interview film session. Unfortunately, Russ could not join us today. He got caught up at his day job, like we all have. But just me here with Dylan Soehner of Iowa State, one of the better tight end trios in the league that I saw this past year. You guys at Iowa State had a really, really good group of tight ends. So I kind of wanted to ask you before we jump into some film here, just talking beforehand, what was it like playing in that tight end group? Because Kolar's great. There was another guy, I believe, that number 11 was also at he's the Shrine Game and NFLPA and all that stuff too. You guys had one hell of a group there. What was it like playing in that group with those other guys?
Yeah, it was really special, man. It's kind of like a once in a lifetime kind of dynamic that we kind of created. You're talking three guys that could go start anywhere in the country, take every rep, get every tight end ball thrown at them. And just kind of coming together, like loving each other, man, like unselfish, the most unselfish group of guys I've ever like been a part of. Man, like the other guy was just as happy to, celebrate the other guy's play. Nobody was really worried about their own success. And so it was just like a really neat dynamic within the room, man. Everybody wanted to see everybody succeed, and like we challenged each other to be better, but it never really felt like we were like competing for playing time or a spot. We all kind of had a different role that we played on the team and just meshed really well together.
Yeah. And that kind of leads to my next question here, because I actually cover the Colts for one of my other jobs I do. And Tom Manning's your guys' offensive coordinator. He was a tight end coach for the Colts in 2018. And I swear, when we get to the clips, we'll be able to talk about it. But there are so many things that I see that are like that 2018 Colts offense with how the tight ends are used. I mean, the Colts have Mo Cox, Jack Doyle. They had Trey Burton this past year. That kind of reminds me of the group that you guys have. Has he shown you guys clips of like those guys and stuff like that? Have there been any kind of correlations to that 2018 tight end group?
We watch a lot of their stuff, and I mean we watch a lot of clips around the league, but for sure when he came back, we watched a lot of their stuff. And man, we took verbiage. We took a lot of stuff, kind of from that team. We were doing, formations, like plays. And it was really neat. It was good that I don't think that if he didn't leave for the year and then come get the experience he had and come back, I don't think that we would have been able to, have the year that we did in our room.
Yeah, certainly. I've heard, I think your agent was telling me, Randy was telling me the other day that Coach Manning has compared you to Mo Cox a little bit. Do you kind of see those comparisons?
Yeah, he was because he was just he likes to just talk about the league and stuff like that because he has a little bit of knowledge now, so he kind of like was mentoring us a little bit. Yeah, that's what he was like. Man, I mean, Mo Cox, like you're more useful than him at the moment. I had to teach him how to not at the moment. Whenever he first came into the league, he's like I had to teach him like how to hit the one-man sled after practice. But yeah,
basketball, dude. I mean,
we love his stuff though, man. Freak athlete, absolute freak.
Oh my god, dude, he's an absolute freak. I mean, the way that they just ISO him on defensive ends, which we have a little bit of you doing that too, but like the way with his size and strength, man, it's
impressive. And like I couldn't imagine, like that's his first football game was in the National Football League, right? Like ever? Yeah. Like I couldn't even.
I think he played in 8th grade was his last football game before jumping to the NFL.
I couldn't even imagine, dude. That's like you're just classified as a freak at that point. Like
people who don't watch basketball too don't realize how good he was too at VCU. He was like Kenneth Faried level. Like that's what he was like.
Basketball, man. Basketball players are the best athletes in the world. I think they're impressive.
Yeah.
I like watching.
They got to keep running up and down all the time. It's
right.
Insane. But the other thing I wanted to ask before we jump into some film stuff, because I really want to get into it's hilarious. We're going to talk so much about run blocking and stuff like that, which the average viewer is probably going to be bored out of their mind. But we're gonna be loving shooting the shit on this. But Shrine Game this year, you were invited to the Shrine Game. I saw that invite and everything. I know there was no actual game this year, but wasn't there was some kind of like phone calls and stuff with coaches and such, or what was kind of the whole thing like?
Yeah, so the Shrine did it was more like a player panel. They they brought in like Shaq Barrett and a couple guys, and I don't want to throw around the names because we did the NFLPA was kind of the same style, and they kind of melted together on who talked at which one. They were like right next to each other, but yeah, they brought players on, basically ex-players, former player or current players, and kind of like give you, an insight of like what it might be like, your rookie year, your first 5 years, and, just kind of pour down the knowledge that they have. So it was a good experience for sure. It sucks like not getting to like play a game or, go practice in front of scouts, and especially for a guy like me that have a lot of athleticism that I never really got to show in the role that I played in our offense. So I was kind of looking forward to the practices and things like that to kind of give me that opportunity. But it was definitely helpful. A lot of great minds on there that were able to kind of help us out.
Yeah. Everything with COVID, it's been a mess these last couple.
Right. Yeah, I know. And then the combine, I get a combine invite. There's no combine. Oh man,
you gotta do those time 40s where you just say that you ran like a 4.3 or something.
Right. You speed up the video. 4.19.
Yeah, there you go. In a tight end 270 run 4.19 would be pretty damn good. Yeah. All right, so let me get to these clips here. So we're gonna share, and this part I'll edit out of the actual video when I post. And it's cool. I can go around Huddle, which has the cleanest graphics.
Yeah, they do actually.
So good. All right. So getting to some of these clips here, and for all of you viewers who are tuning into this part, this is going to be a lot of blocking here because that was kind of your role here in college. I think you had, 1 touchdown and 300 yards receiving, I believe, total in college, right?
Yeah, like 25 receptions, something like that.
Yeah, which we'll actually go over the touchdown catch. So you guys want to tune in for that? Definitely tune in.
That was speaking of your boy Tom Manning, man. That was a Tom Manning gym right there.
Oh, dude, it was. I'm excited.
I won't spoil it, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there right there. Yeah, I figured that was a Tom Manning leak out play, but yeah, we'll talk about that. But I just absolutely love the way that you guys control blocks up front, and also use you and other linemen here as lead blockers. So we'll see on this play. I have it kind of drawn out a little bit. Everyone's down blocking here. They're pinning, and then your guys are pulling on the outside. You and the left tackle, I believe, are pulling, and you're just rolling around the outside here. And this is actually a pass play. It was an RPO, but I just like the way that you finished here. I had a couple fun ones here at the start where the guy jumped and you need to pay a little bit. But I guess on these RPO plays, talking to you generally about those plays. Let me get back to the last clip. How key is it? Because we always know for quarterbacks and running backs and everything, it's key to sell that run. But how key is it for you guys to sell that run up front too, as linemen and tight ends as blockers?
Yeah, it's really important. We're gonna have the quarterback's gonna have a read guy, right? Which you see him here. I think it's 24. Is his read key, and so we sell this counter scheme, basically this gap scheme, and 24 takes 4 or 5 steps up, and then we have the post right behind his head. That's kind of the basic football, like what we're going for here. So Brock makes a great read. Obviously the guy's covered, but a good defense. But yeah, this is one of my favorite run plays. We can call it as a run play, we call it as an RPO like we do here. And I think it's a great play. But yeah, and that's a really good clip to see kind of what Brock's looking at and how we're doing that.
Yeah, no, this angle is always great to see what the quarterback can actually see, because you can see right here, the second he takes that one step and that safety's already flying up. It's just such a great angle to show that.
Yeah,
stuff.
You can see after the snap, Brock's flowing with the play, right? He's he doesn't throw the ball behind the center, right? He takes off running actually. So honestly, more than the offensive line, it's the action in the backfield.
Yeah.
That's really because those guys 24, those guys, guys in the secondary, linebackers, good linebackers have their eyes on the offensive line, but a lot of secondary guys tend to keep their eyes in the backfield, and the good action by him.
Yeah, certainly. So I'm curious how you got into the role of the blocking. I mean, obviously your size is the first thing that pops up. Your size and athleticism. You can see you being an easy fit for that sniffer type role, which we're going to talk about more plays where you're in that kind of sniffer. By the way, did you guys call it a sniffer tight end when you were kind of lined up offset like that in the backfield?
Yeah, we didn't call it anything, man. We were just tight ends, and that's all we had. And we kind of molded it this year. We had our positions where the Y was the tight end, and then the slot receiver we called the F. It used to be the M, but we called him the F. And then the outside receivers were the Z and the X. And then we had 14 different tight end personnel packages, right? So
okay.
there were 14 different names that could put any three of those guys on the left at any of those positions and mix and match, which was really good for us because we could put any of us at any position we had and run any play in the playbook because we didn't change like positions when we sub 13 personnel. We just kept the positions the same. So all the formations are the same. All the plays are the same. They could literally run the whole playbook out of 10, 11, 12, 13 personnel.
So nice. It was really fun to watch the way that you guys, I mean, because this is one formation here where I like you got the two tight ends offset in the backfield right here in that sniffer look. And then all these other clips are going to be completely different from 13 to 12 to 11. You guys did so much with your tight ends there. And it is kind of a testament again to, having a guy like Manning who's worked with tight ends as your offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And then having the group that you guys had at tight end. But I'm curious how you got into that block. I mean, I'm not saying that, like, you guys were obviously interchangeable. You guys can move around, but they like to use you a lot as that lead blocker role. Was it mostly because your size and athleticism type thing, or?
I think I would just kill people in practice, and I think that's like I would just like straight kill people, and so that's just kind of what they wanted to do, and I love it too. That's probably why the other guys, they block, and they probably actually block better than what they get credit for. And I probably can run routes better than what I get credit for, but you just kind of get labeled in the tight end world a little bit as receiving, blocking. But I think, it really came down to like, man, those guys really focus on like route technique and they really like find joy in that. And I find joy in putting my nose on somebody. So like, coach to your personnel and let them do what they like to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that. Against this next one here, they're gonna motion you into the backfield, and this one's a little grainy because this film was just not great.
That's a good one, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think this is the very first play of the game, actually. So.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
First play, but I wanted to ask about the motion thing. They a lot of when they got you into this spot right here, where you were going to be the lead guy, it was a lot of motioning to that. Was that a big part of your guys' offense, getting that tight end in motion, kind of getting the defense moving to see? Where you guys
did. I think we like it wasn't even close. In entirety of college football, we had more motions than anyone. Like we motioned or shift, like I think over 80% of our plays. Like it was wild.
Yeah.
We use it for a lot of reasons. If you're coming in at tight end, it gives you an opportunity to kind of set your alignment to where you have an advantage on a block where it's not as easy to read for the defense, right? So if you just sit there from the snap every play, it's easier to key off your alignment, like what you're maybe trying to get an advantage at. It also helps the quarterback a lot, identify man coverage and things like that. So.
Yep. Yeah, it makes life a lot easier. And this was a great just overall run and everything like that. You got the duo on the inside here with the center and guard tackle, and then you're getting that crack back on the backside. And Breece Hall is able to make a really nice play. But yeah, you're able to knock him off his feet there. Like you said, just you like to lay guys out in practice, and it definitely translated to games. Do you kind of like being part of that? I always ask offensive linemen, do you like being that nasty finisher, finish plays and stuff like that? But as a tight end who's known for blocking, is that a big part for you as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the first play of the game, right? And then I don't have to do that the rest of the game because the guy ain't coming like that the rest of the game, So it helps, and especially once you kind of get that like stigma, with your name around the league. Then I tried this on the first play of the game against Kansas State, and the guy cut me. He watched film, right? So that's fine with me. Like, cut me. I did my job. Appreciate it. So I mean, yeah, I think I like it. And once you kind of build up that resume of that, then it makes people play differently, and most of the time to your advantage. So.
Yeah, this block right here it's great to have your size with it because it's a lot of getting defensive ends,
right.
Like this is a stand-up, guy on the edge here. I think they're running a 2-4. Yeah, I think that's 2-4-5 or something like that. I don't know. I think this Baylor defense, so they run a lot of.
They've done a lot of different stuff. They tried to steal our defense for a while.
Yeah, 4-2. You know what? This might be a 4-2-5, but this guy's not your typical defensive end. But sometimes you'll have guys like this where they're not the huge defensive end. You'll have other guys where you're going against 280, 290-pound guys on the edge there. Does it really depend on who you're going against if you're going to cut that block, if you're going to take them head on, or do you hit them head on?
Yeah, for most people, like the other guys in the room, it would be who they're going against. Like like there's no way I should put this guy on the ground here. He's lower than me. I'm
Yeah.
just like huge, you know.
Yeah.
So it's for me. I don't have to think about it too much because like a 280-pound guy is he's the same size as me. So I don't think a lot of the time if you're going to throw a cut or not, it just depends on the technique he's playing, man. If he's like screaming down the line of scrimmage, you got no shot. You got to cut him. Like he's tight to the tackle. If he's up the field, then you just throw your opposite shoulder in there and blow him out. So it's a lot of like mid play, like read.
Gotcha. More of a feel thing there because I always notice the guy.
This play, man.
Yeah.
So this entire game, we ran this play like 10, 12 times, and they kept telling me like. So 30 is my responsibility pre-snap, but like they love to like throw the tight ends in these positions where they're like, hey, you guys make it right for us, right? And so he's like, all right, listen, we're gonna run this play, this ISO block. You have 30. Like they're bringing a lot of will fire, so I need you to check the will fire before you go block 30, man. Like you like if we don't get to 30, that's cool. If will fire comes, you got to block it. And I'm like, so I'm tiptoeing across the formation here, checking will fire. And then all of a sudden I'm like, shit. So it kind of looks like a soft block, but it goes for, 75 yards, Brees Hall, bang your head on the goalpost. So I'll take it.
That's funny because I was going to ask you, I was like, I was actually wondering if the play was supposed to be designed to go to the left or something because the way that you took that step, but now that makes so much sense. That's why I like bringing this stuff up here and talking with players because when you're watching film, you only get a quarter of the puzzle. You only get very little part of the puzzle without actually understanding what's going on. Because I can see what this play is. I mean, this is a play where the Colts absolutely love it. They love this ISO up the middle with the sniffer tight end there, getting guys out on the second level. This is a play I've seen a million times, but that step right there, I didn't realize you were looking for the will fire.
They were bringing it, man. Like 3 out of every 5 plays, will fire. He's like, man, you got to pick up that will fire. But if it's not will fire, you better get back to the mic.
I love it. I was going to ask you too about because you brought it up here, Brees Hall, just an outstanding player this past year. I mean, obviously you guys did a lot up front to help him out, but I mean, Brees Hall is outstanding. I mean, what can you say about this? How much easier does it make having a running back like that in the backfield?
So it sometimes makes it a little harder because like the guy, you don't know where the guy's going to go, right?
Yeah.
Like he can put his foot in the ground, go 180 degrees the other way, and it's just like it can be hard to block for like that. But man, the dude's a playmaker. He when the ball is in his hands, it's got the opportunity to go like that every time, and I almost like envy him because it looks effortless all the time. Like it never looks like he's really trying that hard. But I mean, not to say he's not trying or playing hard, but it just always looks effortless for him. And so, just an outstanding player.
Yeah, I mean, he hits his hezzy right here and then gets to the outside.
So my block gets it started, but that little head fake he gives, it gets the safety to bite on it, right? So that's the reason he's able to take it all the way to the house. Good player, man.
That's a safety who's going to go in, first round, second round. I mean, that's Trayvon Morg. I think he's going to go pretty. I mean, it's not like he just did that to anybody. He did that against one of the best in the league. So, yeah, he's a freak, man. What was he Was he a true sophomore? I think this past year.
Sophomore, yeah.
Yeah, crazy. So, unfortunately, those are the only 2 games I had from this past year. So we're going to get into 2019 a little bit here. And we got you in line now. And again, I just love the way that you guys mix so many things up because this is actually going to be 13 personnel, and this is just everyone down blocking here on the edge here. And again, that big thing is just controlling that defensive end, controlling the outside linebacker. You just do such a nice job at it. I don't know. This clip was mostly just to bring up that those one-on-one blocks. I mean, is that something you think you can kind of do in the next level too, is just kind of be in line and be like an extra offensive lineman, honestly, at the end of the line?
Yeah, for sure. I think so. I mean, there's definitely things I have to improve on. I play with high pads sometimes, as we saw even in the Baylor clip, like being 6'7", that can happen. But yeah, I think for sure, like there's even technique that I can improve on. In college, I was able to get away sometimes with like some honestly very average technique because I was bigger and athletic,
Yeah.
At the next level, you got to like really hone in on that stuff. But yeah, I definitely think so.
Perfect. And then again, just Breece Hall here, man. Look at the way he sets this play up.
It's insane. They have 4 guys on the backside of the play. We have 3 blockers, and he's like, you know what, whatever. Like we'll just
turns this into what, like a 8-yard gain or something. Just and then
it's insane.
Yeah, he's crazy, man. He's crazy. So I talked about Mo Alley Cox and Jack Doyle. Those guys are great blocking tight ends. Do you actually try to watch like tight ends that are like all around? Like, do you watch your Travis Kelce types and stuff like that and George Kittles, or do you kind of watch more of the blocker type guys? Because, obviously there's more for you to grow. I mean, you talk about your athleticism. There's definitely more for you to be as a receiver in the NFL than even what you were in college, but probably early on, your role is going to be more of a blocking type. Do you watch kind of a lot of blocking type guys and see kind of techniques and stuff that they do?
I do a little bit. We all watch film together, me and those other 2 guys, and
Gotcha.
they're more into the, Travis Kelce, like Ertz, like they would like to watch guys like that. Man, we'll throw on some Antonio Gates. We'll throw it back a little bit. Like, so, I end up watching a lot of that with those guys. For blocking, like most of the time, man, I watch a little bit of film for it, but really it's just getting out there. And we've got great coaches at Iowa State, so like getting out there and like repetition after repetition, just kind of muscle memory it was kind of the way I took the blocking. But like as far as like how you could play certain techniques and stuff like that, we definitely take note of that. There's a lot of good blocking tight ends in the league. Nobody just like talks about them. So
Yeah.
We got what I think Lee Smith retired today, right?
I was actually just about to say that. I was like the legendary blocking tight end. Like he's gonna go down as like football guys saying the most legendary blocking tight end ever, because that's all he did his whole career.
Right.
And
caught a touchdown though in the playoffs, I think, right?
Yeah,
or at the end of the season.
I think he had 65 catches or something in his career, something like really, and it was like a 12-year career or something. Just the ultimate dirty man. I think he caught one on a special teams fake or something once too. Like that was his whole career. Just one of the best to ever do it though. He was great. All right, so here we go against Oklahoma again, and I love the pin pull concepts that you guys do. Was that a big part of your guys running? I love how you guys get, like, sometimes it'll be one guy pulling, 2 guys, sometimes 3 guys pulling. I mean, those pin pull concepts are huge in your guys' running game, right?
Yeah. So this play right here, this was like a staple in our offense for a long time. We didn't run it a ton this past season.
Gotcha.
I'm not exactly sure the reasoning why. I don't really question. I just kind of, do as I'm told.
Yeah, you're not making the game plans.
Yeah, right. But yeah, man, we had the very first clip we watched is actually our counter play, which is a little bit. This is like a mid zone play.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you obviously didn't see the counter action because it was QB counter. But yeah, we like it, man. We hit almost every counter play we ran, and a lot of the times we run this play, it hits pretty big. This is Coach Manning's favorite play right here in football at all. So that's why I was surprised that we didn't run it as much. But
so when he came in as offensive coordinator this past year, he didn't run it as much, even though it's his favorite play. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's his favorite play, and it's crazy. Like, it's like assumed that it's always in the game plan, even when it's not in the game plan. Like this game, I don't even know if it was in the game plan. We just call it, and they never install it either. Like in fall camp, and they never even like install it anymore. It's like fairy tale almost. Like I don't know, like a legendary play or something. Like they just assume that it's always in, and they assume that everyone knows it. I'm like, Coach, like, you've been here 5 years. What if all those players that you actually installed it with are like gone, and then you just start calling this play? But yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Like, yeah, just you don't come to Iowa State unless you know how to do this play right here.
Right.
But I love when they get you on the outside, because again, for your size, you move really, really well. And like, your eyes kind of light up a little bit when you get to tee up on a safety or a slot corner coming down in the box?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was one in that Baylor game this last year that I just like threw like.
Yeah, Randy sent me that clip, and I was gonna get it for this, but that game film I had was just so grainy that I just could. It was disappointing. But yeah, no, Randy sent me that clip, and he was like, "Dude, this is our gem of our class." It was like, "This is the guy," and he was like, "Here's why," and sent me that clip.
Right.
Oh man, no, it's great seeing tight ends get out there. But we're gonna get to the best play of all this, like you said, the Tom Manning, the great play here. So
Dialed it up, man.
yeah, so run me through this play. What were you guys doing? Like, was this kind of something that he just dialed up based on what he was seeing from Oklahoma in this one, or did you guys kind of have like ready before the week?
Yeah, this was ready before the week, and we have it in like all the time too. So we're basically just running inside zone, but we're going to call it like seal, which means we're going to read the backside guy instead of block the backside C-gap defender. We're going to read him with the quarterback, and then we just call the dump off of it, right? So it looks like I would assume we'd probably hit, that QB pull on them probably a few times leading up to this. I don't know. Coach Manning also has like this. He thinks that it's good to run the plays before you set up for the play. He thinks that works. Like, I mean, I think it works too because
that's me on Madden, dude. I do that on Madden all the time.
Yeah, I didn't set it up, but we'll just run the trick play anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm basically, going to leave the C-gap defender here for Brock to read, just like it was inside zone. And normally this guy, I can't see his number, that's coming off the edge right now at Brees. I would block him, Brock would pull the ball. So it kind of just flash hands a little bit. Honestly, probably wouldn't have been open. We caught it into corner fire, which was really lucky. I mean, that's why I say it's a Tom Manning Jimmy. Dialed one up on them in the corner fire here. We kind of knew they like to bring corner fire inside the 50 into the boundary, obviously. So, so corner blitzes, safety has to play over the top of the outside receiver, and nobody home. That's pretty much it.
Oh man, that's just it's such a beautiful play. I remember I saw some film and I was like, oh shit, okay, I just love seeing the tight ends. I mean, he's obviously been using. You guys do this all the time where you leak, like you said, leak number 11 here outside the backside, and get that little dump off for a nice 10, 15 yards. But getting you to flash the hands and get vertical on that, I mean, that was just like you said, it's a gem of a play here by Tom Manning. That's gorgeous. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, man. That's all I got there. Let me get back to this. There we go. All right, man. No, that was fun. I love watching run blocking and stuff like that and seeing all the concepts you guys did. I love seeing teams who do, they attack defenses multiple ways with multiple players. It's not just, we're going to pull here, we're going to do duo here, but it's using the tight ends, using the receivers to block, quarterback running, running back running. You guys had a very, very versatile offense, and it was probably, I'm assuming it was pretty fun to be a part of it with Tom Manning and all those guys.
Yeah, we had, even our receivers kind of don't get a lot of credit because, we played in 13 personnel. I bet we played more plays in 13 than we did 11, honestly. So they don't get a lot of credit, but man, there's a couple like talented cats in our receiver group too, and they like block their ass off, like you said too. And that's really what springs a lot of these big plays is those guys blocking down the field. But yeah, man, you talk about like you got a backfield in Brock Purdy and Brees Hall, and you got some like linemen that are willing to put their bodies on the line up front and play hard like the whole game. It's kind of like our MO is play harder. And man, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now you're getting ready for this next step here to the NFL. It's fairly clear. I mean, I guess from watching this, very clear what your role is going to be at least early on in the league here. But I am always curious. I always ask people this. I love to hear what draft prospects say. But what kind of guy are these teams getting, not only on the field but kind of off the field in their locker room when they spend a draft pick on you this class?
Yeah, they're getting just get along with everybody, like social butterfly. I never shut up. I literally never shut up. I'll talk to anybody all day long. Like these Zoom calls I do with teams, like scouts call me, man, I love it because I just love to sit around and talk. So yeah, you're going to get a guy that's going to, that was what our coach is always like. He was like, man, like the guy gets like, I've never met anybody that can go like cut it up with the offensive line and then go to the DB room and like cut it up with them, and then the receivers and then the linebackers. Like you just don't like you don't stick with anybody. You just get along with everybody. So that's kind of been my thing in college, man. Bring team together. The closer you get to team, I think the better off you are in the long run when it comes to playing on Saturday. I think they're probably getting a lot more bang for their buck than what they probably think at this point. Like I said earlier, like I didn't, in the role that I played in the offense, I did it well. Did what I was asked of, and that's kind of all I'll ever do. But wasn't able to really showcase a lot of the other things that I can do. I've worked a lot on route running, speed. Like I was 21 or 20.9 miles an hour in a game on my GPS. So like,
yeah.
So I can move a little bit. I don't know if people really understand that at this point. Hopefully maybe a good 40 time and, getting out and run some routes at pro day will help with that. But I think it'll be we're going to draft whatever sign this blocking tight end. And I think when I show up at camp and, get playing a little bit, they'll be like, oh, well, we got a little more than what we thought. That's what I think. So.
All right. Last question for you here, and I'll let you go. I appreciate you taking it. I think it's been a little longer than I promised.
No, that's fine. No.
But
like I said, I love to talk, man. I'll sit here for 3 hours if you want.
No, for sure. We'll break up some more duo here. We'll throw some more duo clips and everything, some more sniffer tight ends. Last question I have, though. You've only scored the one touchdown in college. So getting to this next level, you expect yourself to catch more balls, get more involved in an offense. Do you have your touchdown celebration ready for when you start scoring here in the league? I mean, are you going to be like so many good tight ends have great touchdown celebrations.
I don't have one ready, right? I should. Now that you bring it up, I definitely need to work on that because you don't want to be the guy that scores his first career touchdown and then is like, what do I do with my hands? Like, yeah, so I definitely need to work on that. I have nothing planned at the moment. Big guy, I'm social, like fun, but dancing probably not my thing. I'm not really much of a dancer, so I don't know if you're probably not going to see me bust out any moves. But man, we'll have to figure something out. I'll have to trademark something, I guess. Gronk took the spike, so we'll have to find cool.
Do the keg stand every single time that the Colts did that we were at.
Right? Yeah. Hey, I'd be down.
Every single time, that's what you do.
Take stand or shotgun every time, man.
There you go. Yeah, shotgun the football. That's what you do. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you joining me today. Draft fans, this is definitely a guy you want to keep an eye on this class. Wherever he goes, if it's 40 time and everything kills it and he gets up to day 2 and stuff like that, day 3, wherever, you're one of those players, I think, at least in my mind, that is going to outplay the draft position and be in the league much longer than the experts say. So, but again, appreciate you joining me. And Bills fans, I think most Bills fans are going to be following this. Definitely keep an eye on this guy, Lee Smith's replacement right here.
Man, that's some big shoes, but maybe we'll see.
He's a huge guy.
Yeah, we'll see in 12 to 15 years. We'll see, I guess.
Definitely, man. All right. Let me end this.